craziest day today, our first long day sail, and the weather was predicted to be like no wind at all, and that's kind of how it started, and then it changed into like 25 knots behind us, and we're like, awesome, great, reef, and we put a reef in and we sailed and we turned the engine off and it was great, and then the wind turned around and came into our face, 25 knots in our face, and then huge swell, yeah.
Huge leftover swell from a few nights ago, and that made me sick.
All the currents, we're still getting the huge tides in and out of anchorage area, so you've got to watch every passage we go through. We're looking at the tide timetables and trying to work out when we can pass through, so we're going with the current, or we were doing like 8 or 9 knots sometimes today, but then the swell was going against that, so it made the swell really steep. And
then we finally get into what we thought would look like a beautiful bay, Picnic Harbour, and all the guidebooks said, yeah, great anchoring, and we get in and it's like 40 something feet. And
that was the shallowest bit we could possibly find.
It is really beautiful here, but God, it's taken a lot to get here. Off we go on our first dinghy trip in Picnic Harbour. What are we going to see?
Hopefully some black bear and salmon. Bit of a bummer, we were all set to go ashore and explore, and started the outboard no problem, but couldn't put it into gear. Can't go forward or backwards, and the bit where that movement is supposed to be looks kind of a bit corroded, but I can't even see in there because it's underneath the whole engine, and it could be anywhere down inside the leg of the outboard where it's stuck. We just found this on shore. It looks like an egg case from a shark or something, but I've never seen anything like it so big. In Australia we get like little ones this big. Must be a huge shark.
Our friend Ali in Seldovia lent us this book, Wild Plants that are edible that are found along the Alaskan coast. So when we went ashore just now, I picked up these just green shoots, and now I've just been reading in this book that they're actually beet greens, and they're known to prevent scurvies and things because they've got loads of vitamin C. You can just put them in salads or cook them up like you would green beans. Really excited. They'll make a great accompaniment to our salmon patties.
Just decided there's an amazing photo opportunity coming up. There's a beautiful waterfall cascading down a cliff face there. Looks like we can sail right past it. So we're going to put the dinghy in, and I've just swapped over to a nice wide lens, and I'll row away and Jess will motor sail kind of past the front of it. Hopefully we'll get a really cool shot. See how we go. So Troll Pro sent us these towing GoPro camera mounts, a Z-wing downrigger. So this thing, when you tow that, even at quite slow speeds, it dives really heavily and pulls almost straight down. And then this camera is designed to kind of attach on top of that. So at quite slow speeds, you'd end up with this camera straight down, but still pointing aft. And I've been trying to work out a way to get the camera, facing forwards, so we could just lower the camera down from the bow, and the camera would point forwards and see the dolphins playing. So I've just been thinking, if I actually cut a little groove in this bit enough that this camera can mount directly on the front of the Z-wing, then that could be awesome. We could just have this little wing where we just straight drop in over the bow and it'll pull down, and the dolphins will be playing right in front, and it should just self-center and point straight forward. We're just coming up on a little bit of ice in the water, our first bit of ice for a couple of years, coming out of the glacier front up there. We're just going to hack a little bit off and put it in our ice box, and maybe for a drink. We got one, finally. It's actually a lot harder than it looks. That'll be good. Keep our ice box nice and cold. It's just like being in Greenland again. Bummer, that would have been a really nice anchorage. It's full of places like this where we go in there and the depth is like 600 feet, 100 feet, 0. And there's just nowhere where we can anchor without being so close to the shore that we just swing and smash into something. All like this. Like up in the Arctic, our problem all the time was it was so shallow. And the problem here is that it's always just so deep.
So we finally found a good anchorage just at the base of Sunlight Glacier. Now I've just gone ashore, first time ashore in a few days, nice to go for a walk. But tried to walk up to the glacier and it just seems very bushy, so we'll try another way. We're also a little bit worried about black bears, which are apparently quite frequent around here, and with all this bush, yeah, not so great.
I wonder what these things are. They're like almost like some kind of pea. They've got little purple flowers, but they've got little bean, like pea pods. So we'll take some back to the boat and see if we can match it in the little edible wildflower book that we borrowed. Maybe it's good for dinner.
collecting all this wood for a campfire tonight. We'll cook some vegetables and get warm, dry. Be great. So we just found these guys in the book, and apparently they're beach peas. So they are edible, but it seems that there are also lots of other peas that look very similar, and if you eat large amounts of them or something, you get they can cause paralysis. So we're not starving and we're not that hungry, so we won't take the risk and eat them, but it's interesting to find them. Beautiful campfire in the most amazing scenery in the world.
How is it?
It's delicious. Perfectly cooked. We anchored last night at Ribbon Fall Cove, and it's just beautiful here. There's glaciers everywhere. The scenery is just spectacular. Today we're going to head up the northwestern fjord and have a look at the bigger glacier and hopefully get some pictures and video of teleport in front of it. Just beautiful.
There's a lot of broken brash ice up ahead here. It looks like it might actually be quite tricky to get through up to these glaciers up here, but we'll try. Sailing along here on the northwestern fjord, it's incredible when the engine's off, finally. All you can hear are the waterfalls everywhere and the glaciers cracking and exploding every couple of minutes. And you can just see huge bits of ice collapse either up high on the mountain and spill down like with a waterfall of ice, eventually falling into the water, or just bits carving off the front of the glacier. It's amazing. But incredible actually to think this whole 9-mile stretch of water here, the northwestern fjord, that all used to be glacier, all the way up to the head of the bay there, like 9 miles long. 100 years ago, the glacier was there. So just in 100 years, this is all melted all the way back.
There's seals sitting on some of the ice over here. They're so cute.
All the granite cliffs here on both sides are polished really smooth by all the glacier coming past. Not many more picturesque places to have lunch in the world. This is incredible. I'm in the little blow-up dinghy, and Jess is over there in teleport, sailing back and forwards in front of Northwest Glacier.
We're off on an expedition to try and walk to the base of the glacial moraine up there. Good. Looks like we're getting a little bit closer, and we're even down to t-shirts. Must be getting quite warm.
Looks like we just cut up here and walk across more of this red stuff, and then we should be able to get to that ice melted face of the moraine, which will be really cool. How amazing is this? It's just one giant wedge of ice just melting away. Every now and again it melts enough that one of these boulders from the top just goes, falls down. Incredible. Isn't that amazing? It's just like the melting ice wedges we saw in Herschel Island in the Canadian Arctic. But this is just the front of a glacier melting away. I love that there's no like safety lines here or anything. Like you go to Fox Glacier in New Zealand or somewhere like that, and there's all these little red tapes and things saying don't go beyond this point. And so sure, we don't go beyond the point anyway, but it's nice to know that they're not there and you're not being policed. That's what's so nice about these wild parts of the world.
We're just about to start heading out through a bar. there's break waves on either side of the bar, and there's supposed to be a little passage through it. We're doing it as close as we can to slack tide, but we'll see how it goes. Pretty big waves out there.
Looks like we just made it through okay, no problems at all. It would have been bad if we were about 100 meters that way, but through the channel, pretty easy. This beautiful glacier is Aliak Glacier, and it's probably even more stunning than the other ones. It's bigger, and you've got these amazing mountains in the background that really just frame the picture beautifully. Just sitting here waiting for a piece to carve off. Such a hot sunny day, it's got to happen any time now. Alright, we're going to try the drone. We really want to get a cool photo teleport in front of this amazing glacier, so I hope it doesn't crash or anything because it doesn't float and it's not waterproof, but it's worth it, right? How lucky are we just to be able to stay out here in front of the glacier for as long as we want. There were a couple of other tourist boats around and they kind of zipped in and had their half-hour time slot and everyone went snap, 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 and then they drove away just as bits were breaking off and they drove away, and then another one would come in later on.
This is Holgate Glacier, and there's about a 20-knot wind blowing up it, and it's freezing.
There's a black bear over there. First black bear I've ever seen in the wild. A lot smaller than I thought. That's awesome.
Feels like we're back in the Aleutians again with all this fog. There's loads of fishing boats everywhere, there's big tourist boats, and we're going through small, tiny passages. Oh, it's a little bit scary.
I was just trying the troll pro thing, the Z-wing. More dolphins. I hope it works.
So we're just about 5 miles out of Seward. Got a beautiful tailwind to bring us in there. It's a pretty big port actually. One of the biggest that we've been in for a while, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. But we really intend to stay a few days, stock up on some food, fuel, the necessities, and then we'll hit the road again. We'll see.
Bit different now, there's little boats everywhere, and what we thought looked a lot like an iceberg up ahead turned out to be a cruise ship. Seward Harbour Master, this is sailing vessel Teleport on 17. Do you copy? Over.
WQB 667, Seward Harbour Master, back to Teleport, go ahead.
Hi there, I'm just a little 29-foot Australian sailboat coming into your harbour. I'm probably maybe half an hour out or a little closer. I was just wondering if you'd have dock space there to fit me for a day or two. Over.
You can pull into any of the transient areas. Those are the areas marked with a yellow bull rail on the dock.
As busy as Seward is, especially up to the lead up to the July 4th party, with the rows and rows of RVs everywhere and tacky tourist shops lining the road, but just behind the town there's a whole lot of really beautiful walks like this one, and we're going to get up really quite high and you should be able to look down over the whole of the fjord. It should be really nice, and all the flowers will come out. Beautiful.
What a beautiful view. You can see the whole bay out there. You can even spot Teleport down there. Perfect day.
Why are you puffing?
It's bloody steep.
Now we're getting higher.
Look at the top yet.
Almost. Top is still way up there. Made it to the top.
Yeah.
1 hour.
Now to get back down.
Refreshing patch of snow on the way down. Hey, almost. do you reckon happens if you go this way?
I can fall off the cliff, wouldn't that?
I don't know if it's well enough signposted. So it took us 1 hour to get up and 25 minutes to get back down. That was an awesome hike. Best view from the top.
We're just getting ready to head off from Seward, so we're filling up all our diesel containers.
And we've put our 100 litres in the flexible tank up the top, our turtle pack tank. Always been amazing. So it turns out we've been doing it all wrong to catch the salmon. This is useless, and instead you need simply a dive thing, which dives the line down to maybe 15-20 feet, followed by a sparkly thing, which attracts the fish but doesn't actually catch them, followed by these things, which are hooks on a line, but it's 2 hooks, so if one misses, the other one gets it. And then you feed one of these down over the top of that, and then on the last hook, you actually put a fillet of herring for bait. So, can't go wrong. We're going to catch ourselves a salmon just over here. Just got to set it up first. I'd eat that if I was a salmon. Let's see how we go. I expect to catch one pretty soon. You can see the mountain in the background there, the one with the like an erosion trail looks like running down the side. It's actually a running track, and that's the mountain that Jess and I climbed yesterday. We didn't go up that way, we went up via a waterfall and some other track, but we came down that way. And it's actually quite a famous mountain. They have a race there every July 4, so in a couple of days' time. And people from around the world come and try and run up to the top of the mountain and back down as quick as possible. I think the record is not much more than about half an hour to run all the way up and just scramble down and jump and slide and get down as quick as possible. But it's so steep on the way up, and on the way down your feet are just kind of pushing in all the scree and rocks are going everywhere. It was so exciting. It was great fun.